What was your reaction to these images? They are what we see daily through our news services, separate and distanced from our own lives. Our own lives in which we get caught up in the trivia of daily routine, whereby our very humanity numbs, shrinks and focuses inwardly on ourselves. Our view of warfare, civil war and social dislocation becomes a worm's eye view. One look at the newspapers and the television news of recent events in Rwanda, Somalia, what was Yugoslavia and many other trouble spots around the world might have shaken you, perhaps momentarily, perhaps longer as you sat in front of your TV screen, soaking up the cathode rays, or reading the paper, cup of coffee at your side. Our lecture today will concentrate on the effects of such events. That is, the effects on the victims of war and uprisings, women and children. The suffering of these victims is not a recent phenomenon. It has a history as ancient as warfare itself. Events in Rwanda have seen a tidal wave of suffering. Accounts of atrocities, disease and death perhaps do not jolt as much as those images of the family torn apart. Which images are the most disturbing? Which images are the most lasting? Surely the images of the children, those who are least able to defend themselves or to understand. It has only been recently that the plight of the so-called comfort women of the Japanese army during the World War II has come to light. About 200,000 women were kept as prostitutes for the armed forces and suffered terribly. Many were beaten, mutilated, and even killed if they tried to escape. They suffered permanent internal damage and were infected with venereal diseases. Some committed suicide, others became insane. They were teenage girls, some as young as 14. The plight of the victims of warfare has not been neglected through the centuries. 2,000 years ago, the Greek playwright Euripides wrote an outright condemnation of war called The Trojan Women. The play was set in conquered Troy as the women await their fate. Hecabe is the widowed queen. Cassandra, Hecabe's daughter, foretells disaster, and Andromache's son is hurled from the walls. The women are to find out if they are to survive or become slaves to the Greeks. Their families having been decimated, their society destroyed. All the elements of the human condition are presented in this play. Fear, grief, anger and despair. Consider for a moment how you would have reacted and felt had it been you. What sort of emotions would have driven or paralysed you? What would have been left you had you lost your family? Take a few moments to reflect on the situation of these women.
Where the white feet of Nereid tread their circling dance. I am Poseidon. Troy and its people were my city. That ring of walls and towers I and Apollo built, squared every stone each, and my affection has not faded. Now Troy lies dead, under the conquering Argive spear, stripped, set, smouldering. Appears a fortune from Parnassus, made to Athene's plan, that a horse pregnant with armed men, called by all future ages the wooden horse, and sent it to glide waking with hidden death through the Trojan walls. The sacred groves are deserted, the temples run with blood. On Zeus' protector's altar steps, Priam lies dead. Measureless gold and all the loot of Troy goes down to the Greek ships. And now they wait for a following wind to make glad, after 10 long years, with the sight of their wives and children, the men who sail from Greece to attack and destroy this town. Athenian hero of Argos, the gods who joined in league to achieve this end have beaten me. And now I must leave Ilion the famous, leave my altars. When desolation falls like a blight, the day of worship of gods is past. Scrimandros echoes with the endless cries of captured women, the sung by lotteries, slaves to various Greeks, Arcadians, Thessalians, and Athenians. Those not yet allotted are in this house, reserved for the chiefs of the Greek army. With them justly held as a prisoner is Tyndarus' daughter, Spartan Helen. Here by the door you may contemplate, if you wish, this pitiful prostrate figure, drowned in tears for a world of sorrows. It is Hecabe. She does not know that her daughter, Polyxena, died just now, most pitifully, an offering slaughtered at Achilles' grave. Her husband Priam is dead, so are her sons, her daughter, prophetess Cassandra, whom Apollon himself left virgin. She will be taken by force in the tent of the high gods in all parts filling, by King Agamemnon as his concubine. Farewell, good city, superb masonry, farewell. You have had your day of glory, you would stand firm yet, but not for Athene, daughter of Zeus.
You are a great god, honoured by gods, and my father's brother. May your old feud be buried? I have something to say to you.
Welcome, Athene. Family love has a magical power.
You are generous, and I thank you. The matter I wish to discuss equally concerns us both.
I suppose you bring some word from Zeus or from some other god, greater or less.
No, I come to entreat your powerful aid and alliance on behalf of Troy. Yes, of this place.
Have you renounced your hatred? Now she's blackened with fire. Do you pity Troy?
First answer, will you support me and join your will with mine?
Of course. Tell me your mind. Is it Greece or Troy you are helping?
I'm disposed to favour the Trojans, whom I hated, and to make this homeward voyage disastrous for the Greeks.
But why? Surely your change of affection is somewhat casual. Why this leaping at random between hate and love?
You know of the insult offered to my temple, offered to me.
When I dragged Cassandra from sanctuary, I know.
No punishment for the Greeks, not even a reprimand.
After the decisive help you gave them in winning the war.
Therefore, I look to you to help me make them suffer.
The powers wait your wishes, Athene. What is your plan?
I mean to make their homeward journey unfortunate.
Before they embark or on the open sea?
At sea, when they're under sail from Troy, nearing their homes, Zeus will himself send rain and floods with incessant hail, and black tornadoes. Give me his lightning fire to blast and burn the Achaean ships. Then, do your part. Infuriate the whole Aegean with waves and whirlpools. Let floating corpses jostle thick down the Rubovian Gulf, so Greeks may learn a future to respect my altars and show humility before the gods.
Athene, the help you need shall be given without more words. I shall uproll the whole Aegean, the shores of Mykonos, the Delian Reef, Cyprus, Lemnos, and Kythera capes shall gather the drowned like thousands. Now, go back to Olympus, receive the lightning shafts from your father's hands, and watch for the Argive ships of war to spread their sails for home. When a man who takes a city includes in their general destruction temples of the high gods, tombs that honour the dead, he is a fool. His own destruction follows him close.
Lift your neck from the dust, up with your head. This is not Troy. The kings of Troy are dead. Bear what you must. The tide has turned at length. And with the tide, drift helpless down. Useless to struggle on. Breast
resisting the storm when fate prevails. I mourn for my dead world, my burning town, my sons, my husband, gone, all gone. What pride of face, what strength, what swelled our royal sails, now shrunk to nothing, sunk in mean oblivion. How must I do with grief? Hold, or give rein? See where my outcast limbs have lain? Stones for a bed bring sorrow small relief. My heart would burst. My sick head beats and burns till passion feeds to ease its pain. In restless rocking, like a boat that sways and turns, give me sad time to my funereal song. For those whom fate has cursed, music itself sings that one note. Unending misery, torment, and wrong. When the swift-winged Hellene ships, sailing from their landlocked ports, through the salt sea's purple glow, swooped on sacred Ilion, shrill triumphant from 1,000 flutes and pipes, rose their martial music. In the Gulf of Troas, poor Troas, they made fast their horses of Egyptian twine, sworn to bring back hatred to Helen, the cursed wife of Menelaus, Sparta's shame and Castor's ruin, her whose sin struck down Priam, patriarch of 50 sons, wrecked my life, then left me stranded and despairing. Here, near Agamemnon's tent, prisoner and slave I sit, an unpitied exile, old, my grey hair ravaged with the knife of mourning. Come, you widowed brides of Trojan fighting men, weeping mothers, trembling daughters, come, weep with me while the smoke goes up from Troy. Once, with cheerful Phrygian music, solemn hymns and sacred dances, I, Queen Hekabe, prime sceptre in my hand, led your steps and voices. Now the song is saddened to the seagulls crying out a helpless young.
We heard your voice, Hekabe. Why did you call? What did you say? As we sat there indoors, thinking of slavery with bitter tears, your cry of agony came to us, and we all shuddered with nameless fears.
The Argive crews muster and grip their oars.
Will they take us now? What have you heard? Is this our last breath of our Lady Bear?
Who knows? I guess it was.
Soon we shall hear the final dreaded word. Out of the house, you Trojan slaves, on board the Argive fleet set sail for home.
Cassandra. No, that must not be. Keep my frenzied child Cassandra there. Hold her. She must not come. Crown my grief to see her go dishonoured to her captor's bed. Troy, this is your ultimate agony. Robbed of your living remnant. Deserted by your dead.
Came to ask for news.
Speak to me, Hekabe. Terrors come crowding thick.
Have they resolved to kill us? Are the crews taking their places at the oars?
Is there no word yet of our fate? My child, I do not know. I came out here because maddened and sick with horror I could not sleep.
Oh, to what pitiless master shall I go?
You have not long to wait.
But long to weep. A slave?
Where will my new home be? Some island?
Famous Argos or Thessaly?
Far, far from Troy. A queen, to fall so low. On what strange, distant shore shall I, to whom my country gave honour, authority, imperial sway, be set by some Greek lord to tend his children or to keep watch at his door? An aged, useless ghost, unknown, ignored, a shadow of death, a slave!
What words of yours can release pity to match your pain?
And I, never again shall I sway to the shuttle's song, weaving wool spun from a homebred fleece.
Instead, one last look at the faces of my dead sons, then go to meet yet worse, forced maybe, to the bed of some lustful Greek.
Listen, gods, to my curse.
my first prayer, to go to famous Athens, where the streets are golden, so they tell.
But not to Sparta, where the wild Eurotas runs, not to hated Helen's cruel employ, menial to Menelaus, murderer of Troy.
I've heard it told that above broad Peneus, enchanting fields, the green plinth of Olympus hold rich fruits and heavy harvest. There, after King Theseus' sacred earth, my second choice would lie.
They say, the land of Etna, where Festus' forge clangs underground, and eastward, fronting the Phoenician sound, the mother of Sicily's mountains towers high. Far-reaching fame has crowned this land for people of heroic worth. There is a valley, yet again, lie nearest the Ionian Sea, where the most lovely of all rivers runs. Crathis, whose waters fed by fertile dews, the gift of heaven supplied wealth and good living to its hardy sons. There is a home that I would choose.
Look! The herald from the Achaean camp, hurrying here with urgent orders. What has been decided? What will be his message?
Now our slavery begins. We are chattels of the Dorian state.
Arkives, my frequent journeys here to Troy as herald of the Achaean army have made me known to you. I am Talthybius, lady, and I come with news.
Dear friends, it has come. Women of Troy, the moment we have dreaded is now here.
You have all now been allotted, if this was what you feared.
What is our fate? Are we for Thessaly, or Tyre, or the land of Cadmus?
Each is assigned to a different man, not all to one.
Tell us each of our fortune. Which of Troy's women has a golden future?
I myself know, but you must ask one question at a time.
Then tell me about my daughter, for Cassandra. Whose share is she?
King Agamemnon chose her as his special prize.
A slave for his Spartan wife? Oh, miserable fate.
No, for his own bed. She used to be his concubine.
But she belongs to the bright-head Apollo, a consecrated virgin set aside by him to live in single purity.
Well, she is God-possessed, but she's captured the king's heart.
Cassandra, fling your temple keys away. Strip off your vestments. Tear your holy wreath.
Is it not good fortune that she's chosen for the king's bed?
What of my other daughter, whom you took from me last night?
Is it Polyxena you were speaking of?
Oh, it is. Has she been drawn for? Whose yoke does she bear?
She was made attendant at Achilles' tomb.
Attendant at a tomb. My child. Talthybius, is this some Greek tradition?
Be happy for her, Joy. All is well with her.
What do you mean? At least she's alive?
Her fate is settled. She is free from suffering.
What has been decided for my daughter-in-law, iron-hearted Hector's wife, Andromache?
She too was specially chosen by Arkives' son.
And I, whose shaking hand leans on a stick, whose slave am I, grey-headed Hecate.
You are assigned to Odysseus, keen lady of the castle.
Odysseus. Oh, Odysseus. Now shear the head, tear the cheek, beat the brow. The fate of all. Now I belong to a perjured, impious outcast who defies man's alone gods. Monster of wickedness whose tongue twists straight to crooked, truth to lies, mocks right and honors wrong. Now my fated life, dear friends, sinks and ends. Weep for me and veil my head. Hope is dead. Today, I know the last throe of misery.
Mistress, you know now of your own fate, but what of us?
What Greek lord holds our helpless future in his hands?
Men, go inside and meet Cassandra at once. First, I must hand her over to the general, and next distribute the other women according to the draw. Why, look there! Flames, pine torches burning. Those women! Are they now trying to set this place on fire or what? Have they resolved to burn themselves to death rather than be brought back to Argos? Strange. How intolerable the indignity of slavery is to those born free. Open the door there! This may suit the prisoners, but our generals will be annoyed and they'll blame me.
No, there is no fire. Here's my poor daughter, Cassandra. Here she comes, possessed with prophecy.
Raise the torch and fling the flame. Flood the walls with holy light. Worship the Almighty.
Roman god of marriage. Agamemnon, master of my maiden flesh, king of Argos. Take me! Heaven's blessing falls on me and falls on you. Hear our cry of worship, Hymen, god of marriage. Mother, since you crouch and cry, weak with tears and loud with grief, for my dear dead city and my murdered father. I have brought them torches for my wedding night. Leaping light and dancing flame, in your honor, Hymen, god of hot desire. Queen of darkness, send the gleam you love to lend to the ritual blessing of the wedded virgin. Dancers, come, loose your leaping feet, wild with wine of ecstasy. Glorify my father's happy fate. God Apollo, lead this holy ritual dance in your temple court under your immortal laurel tree. I, your priestess, call on you. Hymen, mighty God, Hymen, here! Come and dance, mother, dance with me. Charm the powers with lucky words. Loudly chant your daughter's wedding song. Wildly whirl and turn with purest ecstasy. Maids of Troy, wear your brightest gowns. Come and sing my wedding song. Hail and love and fate appoint for me. Queen Arkives, she's out of her mind.
Oh, can you not control her, or she'll go dancing down to the Greek camp?
Hephaestus, in our wedding you're a torchbearer. Oh, but this torch-bearing is a hideous mockery of all that I once hoped for. Oh, my child, I little thought your marriage would be thus. A slave, taken in war, the plunder of a conquering Greek. Give me that torch, to carry it into sacrilege. When you're ready, you're unchanged. All that we have suffered brings no healing to your distracted mind. Women of Troy, take in these torches. Let your tears offer the only answer to your wedding song.
Mother! Wreath the triumphal garland round my head. I'm to be married to a king. Rejoice the tit. If you find me unwilling, take me, make me go. As sure as Apollo is a prophet, Agamemnon, this famous king, shall find me a more fatal bride than Helen. I shall kill him and destroy his house in vengeance for my brothers and my father's death. But let me go. My son shall not tell of the axe which is to fall on my neck, and not only mine, nor of the agonies my marriage will beget when son shall murder mother, nor of the overthrow of the whole house of Atreus. Yes, there is a God possesses me, but this at least is truth untouched with madness. I will show you that this Troy of ours is more to be envied than those Greeks. They, for the sake of one woman and her unlawful love, unleashed the hunt for Helen and sent 10,000 men to death. Their sage leader, to win what he most loathed, destroyed what he most cherished, sacrificed the joys of home and his own child's life to his brother for a woman who was not plundered from him but went willingly. And when they reached the shore where this commandment flows, what did they die for? To thrust invasion from their borders? Or siege from their town walls? No! When a man was killed, he was not wrapped and laid to rest by his wife's hands. He had forgotten his children's faces. Now he lies in alien earth. At home, things were as bad. Women died in widowhood. Fathers sank to childless age, missing the sons they brought up, who will not be there to pour loving libation on their graves. Alas, as much in truth to thank this expedition for. And there were worse things still, horrors too shameful for a tongue tuned to the holy muse of prophecy. How different for the men of Troy, whose glory it was to die defending their own country. Those who fell were carried back by the comrades to their homes, prepared for burial by the hands they loved, and laid to rest in the land that bore them. Those who survived the field returned each evening to their wives and children, joys denied to the invaders. Even in Hector's death, mother, I could see more than sorrow, for he did not die till he had made himself a hero's name. And this came through the Greek invasion. Had they stayed at home, where would be Hector's glory? Paris, too, received for his bride no nameless stranger, but the daughter of Zeus. Indeed, to avoid war is a wise man's decision. Yet, if war comes, a hero's death confers as much fame on his city as a coward's brings infamy. Therefore, dear mother, you must not bewail our land, nor weep for my lost maidenhood. My bridal bed promises death to my worst enemy and to yours.
You speak of the extinction of your family with a bland smile. And as for your prophetic muse, you have little truth to show for all this eloquence.
Were it not that Apollo has unhinged your mind, your ill-conceived words aimed at our commander just as he set sail would meet their proper punishment. And yet, how strange that reputation and high place can prove itself no wiser than a common clown. He's Agamemnon, son of Atreus, supreme head of a Hellenic army. Except this mad girl to follow love. Well, I am a poor man, but I wouldn't accept her as a wife on any terms. So, your insults to Argos and your praise of Troy may go to the winds, seeing as you're not in your right mind. Follow me to the ships, our general's lovely bride. You too, Arkives. When Odysseus sends, we go at once. You will be servant to Penelope, whom all the Greeks can speak of as a virtuous woman.
Servant. You hit this servant. He's a herald. What are heralds then but creatures universally loathed, lackings and menials to governments and kings? You say my mother's destined for Odysseus' home. What then of Apollo's oracles spelt out to me that she shall die here? There are other things, and worse, which I will not tell. Poor Odysseus! If you knew what misery is in store for him, my fate in Troy would seem a bliss of paradise. When he has added to these 10 years at Troy, another 10, at last he shall reach home, alone. In his long wandering, he shall pass the rocky gorge where dread Charybdis lives, the mountains haunted by cannibal Cyclops, meet with Euryne Circe, who tends men to swine, the shipwrecked, tested by the lotus food, appalled by the sacred oxen of the sun, whose flesh shall speak in human tones. He shall go down alive to hell, escape the dark mere, and win home to Ithaca, find his palace plagued with ills innumerable. Why lament Odysseus' troubles with these flights of prophecy? Lead on quickly, at the porch of death my bridegroom waits for me. Great chief of the Hellenes, fleeting shadow of magnificence, your accursed life shall sink in darkness to an accursed grave. Me too they'll fling out beside you naked, where the wild ravine roars in flood. Apollo's priestess, and the beasts will pick my bones. Garlands of a god beloved, dear ritual vestments, now farewell. Go his gifts with the lost joys of holy feasts. My glory once, from my still untainted body, I tear you, thus, for the swift winds to receive and carry back to Apollo, lord of prophecy. Where's the commander's ship? Which way? Come, lose no time. Take me on board. Watch for a wind to stir the sails. The prisoner you bring to Greece comes as one of 3 avengers. Mother, no more tears. Farewell. Oh, my brothers, deep in this dear earth of Troy. My father too, Priam, whose blood we all inherit. You will not be long waiting for me. I will come triumphant to the house of death. When I brought to ruin the sons of Atreus, he destroyed us all.
Look, friends, our mistress has collapsed without a word. We shouldn't leave her lying here all stretched out. Come, help her, lift her up.
Let me lie. There is no comfort in your comforting. Here, in the dust, pain such as mine belongs. Today's, yesterday's, and tomorrow's pain. Oh, gods! Gods I know are treacherous allies. Yet, when misery drives to despair, it seems in some way suitable to call on gods. First then, I shall sing past happiness. This tale will allege the piteousness of present grief. I was a princess born, my husband was a king. The sons I bore were heroes to a man not cast in the common mold, but manliest of the Phrygian race. No mother in Troy, in Hellas, or in all Asia could ever boast such sons. I saw them one by one fall to Greek spears. I cut locks of my hair to lay on their still graves. The father of them all, Priam, is dead. No message taught me to weep seemly tears. Myself, with these same eyes, I saw him hacked to death at his own altar, his city laid in dust. My virgin daughters, whom I cherished as choice gifts for husbands worthy of them, were torn from my arms, given to our enemies. There is no hope that they ever again shall see their mother, nor I them. And now comes the last crowning agony, that I shall go to Hellas as a slave. They shall lay on me tasks to humble my grey head,
answering the door or keeping keys or cooking food. I, before Hector, I shall lay my shriveled sides not to rest on a real bed, but on the floor, and wear thin, faded rags to match my skin and mock my royalty. All through one woman's love was what pain has racked me, what despair still waits for me. You, sweet child, Sandra, what outrage cancels your virginity? And you, Polyxena, child of sorrow, where are you? Of all my children, not one daughter, not one son is left to help me. Then why lift me up? What hope is there? The soft, proud days of Troy are past. Lead me to find my hard slave's pallet, and my pillow of stones, and die under the lash of tears. Good fortune means nothing. Call no man happy till the day he dies.
Come, muse, in tears begin, and sing strange dirges over Ilium's grave.
Now loud and clear the story shall be told, that wheeled horse that brought the Argives in, made Troy a ruin, and me a slave.
On towering legs bridled with gold, stuffed with swords that rang to the sky, they left it near our city's gate.
Up to the Trojan rock we rushed, and stood shouting, "The war is over! Come, bring in the wooden horse for an offering to the daughter of Zeus, alas, Lady of Troy." And then not a girl would stay behind, when even the old men left their chairs, and with laughing and singing, all laid hold of that hidden death that had marked them down.
Nations of Troy streamed from the town, and Priam himself went with them to honour the virgin Pallas, driver of heaven's immortal horses, and offered to her this gleaming monster of mountain pine that hid the waiting swords of Greece.
Falling on cables of flaxen twine, like a ship's dark hull they drew it along, and up the hill to the temple rising white, and placed their gift on the holy floor of Celeste, where the slaughter of Troy began.
Over their happy weariness fell the shadow of night. Then Libyan flutes rang out,
When the old tunes were playing, and our hearts were joining singing, new music dancing feet, until, through the darkened palace, one flare still left alive, flickering over sleeping faces with still green fire. I was home that night, joining in songs and dances to honour the maiden goddess, Artemis of the mountains, when a shriek rose like a grip at the throat. Children clutched their mothers' skirts, and war went forth from its secret lair, and the work of the virgin Pallas was accomplished.
men sank in blood while their dead hands clasped the altar, the head half raised from the pillow, defences rolled from the severed neck, and beside the dead, the victor's lust planted a seed of a son for Hellas, watered with tears of Troy's despair.
Hecabe, see, Andromache is coming, and Hector's son Astyanax is with her.
Where are they taking you, sad Andromache? And beside you, Hector's sword and armour and other spoils of Troy, which Achilles' son should dedicate in distant temples of Thessaly?
The Achaeans are carrying home their property.
Oh, Zeus, have pity.
That prayer is mine, by right.
Zeus,
Bought with my husband's blood. My tears,
children,
no more your children. All that is ended.
my home, my lovely city, all that is ended.
Ended.
My noble children,
They are gone.
gone, and my home, my lovely city,
Gone.
now smoke and ashes.
Hector, my own husband.
Hector is with the dead. Hector, my son, my daughter.
Hector, when will you come to help me?
Priam, aged king of my princely sons, Priam, fallen as sport for your enemies. Soothe my head on the pillow of death.
All the love we have lost.
The grief we've gained,
All that we knew. Destroyed.
all anguish doubled.
The gods have hated us since the day that Paris was spared his birth, to live and destroy his country for the sake of the cursed Helen. Now vultures wheel, waiting to tear up the dead, stretch the feet of Pallas. While we,
But we are slaves and must look on.
Oh, city, dead, deserted, I weep for you. Home where my babes are born. This is your end. Who would not weep? City lost, children lost, all lost. When were such tears shed for a murdered house? Was there ever heard such a chorus of pain? Can even the dead see this and forget to weep?
In times of sorrow, it is a comfort to lament, to shed tears and find music that will voice our grief.
Do you see this armor? It is your son, Hector's. He with his spear killed more Greeks than any other man.
I see how the high gods dispose this wealth. I see the mean exalted to the sky, the great brought low.
I and my son are carried off the spoils of war.
It is a strange thing to meet the irresistible. Just now I saw Cassandra dragged away by force.
Poor child. Poor girl, to meet a second Iris is like the first. But listen, there is more bitterness for you.
There is always more. My suffering has no limit, none, and each new misery outdoes what went before.
Polyxena is dead. They've sacrificed her at Achilles' tomb, an offering to a lifeless corpse.
Oh no. Oh, horror. That was what Althemius meant by his evasive answers. It was plain enough.
I saw her there myself. I left the chariot, wrapped a robe around her body. I paid my due of tears.
What sacrilegious murder. My child, Polyxena. How terrible to die like
It is over now. Yes, it was terrible. And yet being dead, she is more fortunate than I who live.
Not so, my daughter. Death and life are not the same. Death is extinction, but in life there is still hope.
I come here, my mother, as you are hers. Let me comfort your heart with some welcome truth. I believe this. To be dead is the same as to have never been born, and far better than living on in wretchedness. The dead feel nothing. Evil then can cause no pain, but one who falls from happiness to unhappiness wanders bewildered in a strange and hostile world. For Polyxena, it is as though she had never been born. In death she recalls none of her past sufferings. For me it is different. I made high repute my aim, achieved it, and now forfeit all that I have achieved. As Hector's wife, I strictly set myself to attain all womanly perfections, every sober and grace. First, since a woman, however high her reputation, draws slander of herself by being seen abroad, I renounce restlessness and stay in my own house. I refuse to open my door to the fashionable chat of other wives. Having by nature a sound mind to school me, I was sufficient to myself. I kept before my husband a quiet tongue, a modest eye. I knew in what matters it was for me to rule, and where in turn I should give him authority. It seemed report of me reached the Greek camp, and this was my undoing. When I was taken, Achilles' son asked for me as his bride. So I shall live a slave in the house of the very man who struck my husband dead. If I put from me my dear Hector's memory and accept my new husband with an open heart, I shall prove a traitor to the dead. But if I hate this man, I shall be hateful to my own master. And yet they say one night dispels antipathy to any man's embrace. How I despise the woman who in a strange bed turns against the man she knew and loves another. Even a horse, when separated from its stable companion, will not pull its weight. And beasts in their nature are far inferior to man, wanting both voice and rational discourse. Dear Hector, you had all I looked for in a man, all in abundance. Wisdom, birth, wealth, manliness. You took me untouched from my father's house to be your wife. My maiden flesh was first and only yours. Now you are dead. And I, a prize of war, must sail to slavery in Hellas.
How come you weep for dead Polyxena? Is not her fate less hard than what I have to bear? For me there is not even a common refuge, hope. I cannot cheat myself with sweet delusions of some future happiness.
Your suffering is the same as ours. Your bitter words teach us to sound the depths of our own misery.
At sea, when sailors meet rough weather, the whole crew works with a good heart to outlive danger. One man stands by the helm, another trims a sail, while the third keeps the hull from filling. Though I was never on a ship, I have seen pictures and heard many talk of it. But when the sea boils with an overwhelming surge, they give in to fate, as the racing waves hurl them along with. So I am vanquished by this storm the gods have sent. My troubles multiply and leave me speechless with despair. But oh, my dear daughter, cease mourning now for Hector, or your tears cannot help him now, and honour your new master, when he's loved as a husband by your own sweetness and worth. The favour so gained will bring joy to all your friends, and, who knows, you may yet bring up our Hector's son. Slight new hope for Troy. Your sons may yet, found in you, Ilion, and our city live again. But look, I see the Achaean herald coming back. Word goes from word. Why is he here? He has instructions to tell us something new that they're just saying of him.
Andromache, now widow of Troy's once greatest man. Do not hate me, I speak these words reluctantly. The Greeks and their two generals sent me to convey...
Your words sound heavy with foreboding. What is it?
Their joint decision that your son... How can I say it?
We are assigned to different masters. Is it this?
No. No Achaean will ever be your son's master.
What, must he stay here? The sole remnant of our city?
My news is bad. I don't know how to find the words.
At least you show some scruple if you bring no joy.
Then know the worst. Greeks are going to kill your son.
Oh. No, this is worse than what they do to me.
Odysseus in full assembly made his point.
This is horrible. Beyond all measure.
That such a great man's son must not be allowed to live.
By such a sentence may his own son be condemned.
But shall be thrown down from the battlements of Troy. Now accept his decision and be sensible. And don't cling to him or show yourself you have some strength when you have none. And bear what must be like a queen. You have no possible source of help. See for yourself. Your city is destroyed, your husband dead. You are a prisoner. Shall we match our strength against one woman? We can. I hope, therefore, you will not feel inclined to struggle or attempt anything unseemly or likely to cause resentment. This too. Do not call down curses upon the Greeks. If you do anything at all to make this army angry, her child will receive no mourning rites, no burial.
No.
If you are quiet, and in a proper spirit accept what comes to you, he will not have to leave his body unburied. And you find the Achaeans more considerate to yourself.
Oh, darling child. Eyes are too great a work for me. You die now at enemy hands, and leave me desolate. Your noble father's greatness, which to other men brought hope and life and victory, will cost you your death. For you, his courage proved a fatal heritage. A marriage bed which welcomed me as Hector's bride. Ill-fated happiness! I thought then my son would be king over Asia's teeming multitudes. I'll die by a Greek ritual of murder. Little one, you are crying. Do you understand? Tug my dress, cling to my fingers, nestle like a bird under its mother's wing. No Hector will come to save your life now. Rise from the grave, gripping his famous spear. No army of your father's family, no charge of Phrygian fighters. You must leap from that sickening height. and fall, break your neck, and yield your breath. None to pity you. Dear child, so young in my arms. Oh, the sweet smell of your skin. When you were newly born, I wrapped you up, gave you my breast, tended you day and night, worn out with weariness. For nothing. All for nothing. Say goodbye to me once more for the last time above. Come close to me. Wind your arms around my neck. Put your lips to mine. Helen's. Inventors of barbaric cruelty. What has he done? Why will you kill this child? Helen, Tyndareus' daughter. You were never daughter of Zeus. Oh, you had many fathers. The avenging curse was one, hate the next, then murder, death, and every plague this earth breeds. I'll swear Zeus never fathered you. To fasten death on tens of thousands, east and west. My curse on you, the beauty of your glance, brought this once rich and noble country to a shameful end. Take him, you robbers! Throw him! Carry out your decree! Feast on his flesh! The gods are destroying us. I no longer have the power to save my own son from death. Hide me! Fling my miserable body into your ships. I go now to my princely marriage and leave behind my dead son.
Oh, miserable Troy, you have lost 10,000 dead, all for the sake of one woman and her accursed love.
Come, child. I pity your mother, but time is up. No more embracing now. Must climb to the topmost winches of her father's towers. Where the sentence says you must leave your life behind. Men take you. This job is fit for a man without feeling or decency. I'm not hard or real enough.
Oh, little child, son of my dear lost son, your life is ravished from us by murderers. What will become of us? What can I do for you? Only to beat the head and bruise the breast. This we can give, no more. What climax of suffering lacks now? Have we not reached in a headlong plunge the abyss of pain?
Far off, in the island of Salamis, whose bee-haunted slopes,
Look out over the circling surf to that holy rock where Athene first displayed the dark green shoot of an olive,
to anoint and bless with a heavenly crown the city of Athens. In Salamis lived King Telamon,
who once, as ally and friend of the mighty archer Hercules, came with an army to Ilion, came long ago to plunder and burn our city of Ilion.
that was a former time when Heracles,
Enraged-filled boss of just reward our king refused him, landed the flower of the Grecian youth on the lovely banks of Simois, eased his oars from the sea,
and fastened his stone cables. Then, from his ship, he brought his bow, shaped for the skill of his hand, bent for the Medon's blood.
And he split with fire's red blast the stones to hollow squares, and laid in the dust our cities lie. Twice the reeking sword has pierced the heart of Troy, and twice her towers have crashed in thunder.
Why then, Ganymede, son of Lamedon, you who walk delicately among golden wine cups, pouring out wine for Zeus, your exalted offers brought little help to your boyhood's home.
Look, the land of your birth is a blazing heap.
Listen! What cry comes from the shore?
Seagulls robbed of their young?
No, wives for their husbands, mothers for sons, daughters for aged mothers, weeping hand.
Sandy course you ran and wrestled on. The dewy fountains where you once bathed are gone. But still, near the heavenly throne, the same fresh grace lights the untroubled beauty of your face. But Troy, where you began, Greeks have stamped out to the last man.
Love once came to the house of Lamedon, beguiling gods to favour the royal family, linking Troy with Olympus in marriage bonds, exalting Troy to the height of heaven.
Had Zeus, for Ganymede's sake, no reproach.
But how could dawn of the gleaming wing, dawn that the whole world loves, how could she smile down on us, dying, dying, rise in our devastated streets and smile?
For this land gave her what she held most dear, our royal prince Tithonus, who begot her sons, whom in her golden chariot she bore off heavenward through the starry sphere.
He was Troy's hope.
But he, and all Troy's hopes from heaven, were vanity.
How gloriously the sun shines on this happy day. Today, I shall lay hands on Helen, my wife. I am Menelaus, the man who has endured this 10 years' toil with the help of the Greek army. Yes, I came to Troy, not so much for her sake, as people think, but rather to find the man that entered my house as a guest, deceived me, and stole my wife. That man, the gods be praised, has paid for it. So is his country, laid in ruin by the Greek army. And I am here now to fetch home the Spartan woman, once my wife. Even to speak her name I find distasteful. She is in this building, held prisoner with all the women taken in Troy. The men whose years of fighting captured her at last and gave her to me to kill, or not kill, if I choose instead to take her back to Argive territory. And I've decided not to take out sentence here, but rather take her back to Hellas and see that she pays with her blood for all my friends that died at Troy. What are you waiting for? Get in and fetch her here. Drag her by the hair, bloodthirsty murderess. Then all we need is a fair wind and we'll have her home.
O thou, preserved sepulchre, throned above the earth, great Zeus, whoever thou art, mysterious and unknown, be thou human intelligence or natural law, I praise thee, for thou movest on a noiseless path and guidest all the affairs of man to their just end.
That's a new kind of prayer to heaven. What does it mean?
I applaud you, Menelaus, if you will kill your wife, but avoid seeing her, or she will take prisoner your tender heart. She captures men's eyes, destroys cities, burns houses to the ground, so potent are her spells. I know her. So do you, and all who have suffered know.
Menelaus, is this beginning meant to frighten me? Your men seized me and hurried me out here by force. I think I know you hate me, but I wish to ask, what sentence have the Greeks and you passed on my life?
There was no question in your case. The whole army of Greece gave you to me, whom you have wronged, to kill.
Have I permission to reply to that sentence and plead that it would be unjust to take my life?
I've come to kill you, not to bandy arguments.
Let her speak, Menelaus. She must not die without a hearing. And let me undertake in turn to speak against her. Of the mischief she made in Troy you know nothing. The whole indictment was complete will ensure her death. There can be no chance of escape.
It is a favour and will take time. But if she wishes to defend herself, she may. I grant this, let her note, for your sake, not from any indulgence toward her.
Perhaps the true God is your enemy. You will not answer whether I speak well or ill, but I will guess what charges you would level against me. And since I too have things I would accuse you of, I will reply by weighing the one against the other. Hikabi he produced the first cause of our troubles when she bore Paris. Secondly, this city and I were doomed by Priam when he ignored the warning given. I dreamed of fire bands and refused to kill his child. What followed then? Listen, I'll tell you. Paris was made judge between three goddesses. Athene's bribe was this, that he should lead the Phrygians to war and destroy Hellas. Hera promised him a throne bestriding Asia and Europe if he placed her first. Aphrodite, with extravagant praise of my beauty, promised him that if he judged her the loveliest, I should be his. What next? See how the story goes. Aphrodite won, and from my marriage Hellas gained this benefit. You today are neither overwhelmed by Asian armies nor ruled by an Asian king. Aim for Hellas was for me disastrous loss. Sold for my beauty I endure vile calumny from those who should have placed a crown upon my head. You will say I have not yet answered the main point. How I came to set forth in secret from your house. It was a goddess of invisible power who came with Hecato's evil genius. Paris, and you, to your shame, sold off to Crete and left him in your house. My next question, I ask myself rather than you. What happened in my heart to make me leave my home, my own land, to follow where a stranger led? Rail at the goddess? Be more resolute than Zeus, who holds power over all other divinities? But is himself the slave of love? Show Aphrodite your indignation. Me, pardon and sympathy. There is a further charge you may feel justified in urging against me. When Paris was in his grave, and no god was concerned to find me a husband, you will say then I ought to have left Troy and made my way to the Argive ships? I tried to do this. The gate warders, the sentries on the city walls could testify. But more than once they found me slipping secretly down from the battlements by rope. Then Deiphobus, defying the whole city's wish, took me by force and kept me as his wife. Can you still think it is just to kill me? Would it not be more just to comfort me? Not only was this marriage forced upon me, but what ought to have been my crown of glory, my own person, condemned my life to this harsh bondage. Do you aspire to govern God? To wish this is mere foolishness.
Now, Queen, speak for your children and your fatherland. Demolish this persuasiveness. Plausible speech combined with such immorality is sinister.
To begin then, I shall vindicate the goddesses and show how she has slandered them. I don't believe gods to be capable of such folly as that Hera should bargain away Argos, or Virgin Pallas, see her Athens subjected to Troy. Why should they indulge in such frivolity as travelling to Mount Ida for a beauty match? Did Hera want to get a husband of higher rank than Zeus? Or was Athene, who begged her father for perpetual maidenhood, disdaining love, now husband hunting among the gods? Cloak your own guilt. You dress the gods up as fools, but only fools would listen to you. And Aphrodite, you say? What could be more absurd than my son to Menelaus' palace? Could she not have brought you and your town of Imoclea from the Peloponnese without stirring from her seat in heaven? No. Paris was an extremely handsome man. One look and your appetite became your Aphrodite. Why, men's lawless lusts are all called love. It's a confusion easily made. You saw him, his gorgeous robes glittering with oriental gold, and you went mad. At home, your soul was cramped by these efficient means. Once clear of Sparta, Troy would be a perpetual fountain flowing with gold. You hoped for you to spend. The palace of Menelaus was to confine its spear to give full scope to your luxurious insolence. Well now, You say my son abducted you by force. What Spartan noble heard you call for help? What sort of outcry did you raise? Both Castor and his twin were there. They had not yet been placed among the stars. Then, when you came to Troy and spears and shields were locked in battle, when you heard of a Greek victory, at once you praised Menelaus, to remind my son of his great enemy and gall his heart. When Troy gained ground, you had no use of Menelaus. You watched events, became a practiced follower of fortune. Duty and loyalty were not your concern. And now, this tale of slipping away by ropes let down from the battlements? I'd like to ask, when were you found fitting a noose to your neck or sharpening a dagger? That was the obvious cause for a woman of breeding if she pined for her first husband. In fact, I urged you constantly to get out of Troy. Go on, I said, I'll help you escape to the Greek ships and end this war for them as well as for us. But no, this proposal did not please you. For in Paris' house you could queen it haughtily. You liked to see Phrygians kneeling before you. This flattered your pride. And now, to crown all, you have come out here beautifully dressed. You have the loathsome impudence to lift your eyes to the same sky as your husband. If you felt some sense of what you had been guilty of in the past, you would have come out here shaking and shivering, your dress in rags, your head clipped to the scalp to show some penitence. Menelaus, this is my last word. Be worthy of yourself and set the crown on Hellas' victory. Kill Helen and establish in all lands this law, that every wife unfaithful to her husband dies.
Punish your wife, Menelaus, in a manner worthy both of the house of Atreus and of your ancestors. Make Greece, which calls you womanish, keep silence. Be a pattern of noble vengeance on your enemies.
Your verdict tallies with my own exactly. She left my house willingly for a lover's bed. Her talk of Aphrodite is mere invention and pretense. Get out of my sight! Death by stoning is too short a penance for the long-drawn sufferings of the Greeks. But it would teach you not to bring disgrace on me.
No, I beg of you. The gods sent this on me. Don't take my life for these misdoings, but forgive.
Think of your fellow soldiers whom this woman killed. I beg you not to fail them and their children now.
Say no more, Arkives. I pay no heed to her. She shall sail back to Sparta. Men, put her on board.
Menelaus, let her not sail on the same ship with you.
And why not? Is she heavier than she used to be?
I love her once, I love her always.
That depends on the ensuing attitude of the person loved. However, since you wish it, she shall not set foot on my own ship. There may be truth in what you say. Once back in Sparta, shameful death will fittingly reward her shameful life, and thus commend all women to chastity. No easy matter. But at least her end will inspire terror in their lecherous hearts, even if their hatred burns more deadly than before.
So, Zeus, our god, you have forsaken us.
Given to Troy's enemies, temple and ritual, smoke of rich spices, altar and incense flame, the holy rock of Pergamus, and Ida, dear remembered name.
Where steep snow-swollen rivers foam and fall, through ivied forest glades, past that bare height, earth's frontier, hushed with the breath of gods, that glows with dawn's first shaft of light.
Zeus, God, farewell. Now with your going goes, music of prayer, sweet singing, mystic nights of darkness and division, the dear forms of golden gods renew. Trojan 12, full moon festal rites. Therefore we ask, monarch of all that lives, firm in your heavenly throne, while the destroying fury gives our homes to ashes and our flesh to worms, we ask, and ask, what does this mean to you?
Dear lost husband, dear lost ghost, seas and worlds divide our ways. You, unwashed, unburied, roam the shadowy spaces. I to Argos wing the sea with restless oars, to the Cyclops' walls of stone, rising heaven high from green turf where horses graze.
At Troy's gates, our children cling and cry by hundreds, calling, wailing, Mother, they are taking me from you. See their dark ships, oars and rowers ready.
Well home be holy Salamis, or the peak between two seas.
where the gate of Isthmus guards the Spartan stronghold,
And when Menelaus' ship in the ocean rides and runs, may there fall a furious thunderbolt from heaven, blaze mid-ships, burn his oars and break his keel.
fall while I, poor prisoner, sail, lost in weeping, farther every hour from home.
Fall while Helen gazes in her golden mirror, aping girlhood.
May she never return safe home to the streets of Sparta in the brazen temple.
She whose lightness shamed the pride of Greece, fouled with blood and tears of Troy, the once pure and lovely waters of Simois.
Look, oh look, you weeping wives of Troy, stroke on stroke, scars our bleeding land.
See the dead of Stynax, whom the Greeks murdered without mercy, flung from Troy's high towers.
Arkives, one ship of Neoptolemus still rides at anchor, ready to set sail for Thessaly, with the remainder of the spoils assigned to him. Neoptolemus himself has gone, disturbing news reached him that Peleus, his grandfather, had been driven out of the country by Acastus. He had no wish to linger, and upon hearing this he at once set sail, and took with him Andromache. She, as the ship left harbour, wailed aloud for Troy and called on Hector's grave. She implored Neoptolemus that this child, your grandson, who was flung from the city's high walls and gave up his life, might receive burial, asking that this bronze-ribbed shield, the terror of the Achaeans, which his father used to fence his body in battle, be not sent away to Peleus' palace, to hang in that same chamber where Andromache, now her captor's bride, should see it to her sorrow, but that it should serve this child in place of a coffin of cedar water stone. She wished him to give them to your care, to dress and adorn his body as time and your constraint allows, seeing she herself is far away, and her master's haste prevented her from staying to give him burial. So now, as soon as you have him ready, we will wrap him in a mound of earth, and then hoist sail. But do what you have been asked as quickly as possible. Once our tasker saved you, as he passed by Scamander, I bathed him in the running stream and cleaned his wounds. I'm going now to break the ground for a grave. If only you and I both do our best to waste no time, we'll soon be underway for home.
Bring the great rounded shield of Hector. Lay it here. The sight which should be well, it now stabs my eyes. You Achaeans are fine fighters, but where is your pride? Did you so dread this young boy that you must invent a new death for him? Were you afraid that he would one day raise Troy from the dust? Now, with Troy a ruined heap and every Trojan dead, did you so shake with fear before this babe? Are you not cowards? Fear is bad, fear lacking all ground of reasons. Oh, dearest child, there is a deep bitterness in your death. If you had died during battle for your city, knowing manhood's strength, love's sweetness, and the godlike pride of royalty, then, if blessing can be in this world, you would be blessed. But though you saw and recognized this wealth of life which was your heritage, my son, you had no use of it. And now, you know it not. Poor little head. Your soft curls were a garden where your mother planted kisses. Oh, how cruelly they were shorn by your own city's God-built bastion. Now, through the shattered skull, the blood smiles, tempting me to unseemly work. Dear little hands, how like your father's. When I lift them, they hang me. Dear, lifeless fingers. You made me a promise once. nestled against my dream. Grandmother, when you die, I will cut off the long curl of my hair and bring my friends with me to grace your tomb with gifts and holy words. You broke your promise. Instead, I heard you. I, an old, homeless, childless woman, bury you. Now, though you lose your father's heritage, you shall have his broad, bronze-fronted shield to make your earthly bed. Dear shield, you who guarded Hector's arms, he courageously kept you. You have lost him now. Here, on your hand grip, is the dear print of his palm, and tear on your rim where his beard pressed around the sweat which in the heat of battle flowed from his brow. Come, bring whatever robes our poverty can find to drape his body. Rigorous fate does not allow the handsome gift. From what I have, these shall be yours. A man who finds his own wealth and security and calls pleasure is a fool. Those fortunes which control our destinies are as unpredictable as capering idiots. Happiness does not exist.
See, we have brought robes taken from our Trojan dead. Wrap them in these to dignify his burial.
Oh, dear child, your father's mother lays on you these gifts, not as a prize for chariot race or archery. In honouring such things, Phrygians used to restraint, but these are the remnant of what once was yours. Now robbed from you by Helen, whom the gods abhor, who took your life and laid your father's house in dust.
Yesterday so great a prince, now a sight to break my heart.
I fasten on you the Phrygian splendour of this robe which you should have put on for your wedding day, to lead home the royalest bride in all Asia. And you, Hector's shield, triumphant once, mother of many victories, receive your crown, and on a far more richly earned than any the coward Odysseus' arms could win. Earth shall receive you, the undying.
Earth shall receive your child with anguish and tears.
Mother, intone the dirge for the dead.
Farewell,
Farewell, dead by the curse of heaven.
farewell. His linen to close up your wounds. This wound I'll heal, and this, pitiful healer, having skill but not the effect of healing. All your other hurts your father's hand shall heal in the home of death.
Beat the breast and bruise the head. Let the hand be merciless.
Oh, dear friends, I see the cold abyss of truth.
Take courage, Calvi. Speak. What will you say to us?
All through these years, the gods had but one end in mind, for me and Troy, the one city they chose for their especial hate. Our sacrifices and our prayers have all been vain. Yet, had not the heavens cast down our greatness and engulfed all in the earth's depths, Troy would be a name unknown, our agony unrecorded, and those songs unsung which we shall give to poets of the future age. Go now, and lay him in his pitiful grave. He has his burial robe and gallows. They are all he needs. The costly funeral procession claims the self-conceit of the living. I think the dead care little for such things. Weep for Andromache, all her strong hopes broken with this broken body. And weep for him whose birth the world honoured and envied, and whose death will be told with terror. Look! Who are they on the sea heights, waving their arms with torches ablaze? What is to happen now?
You officers appointed to burn Priam's town. Why are those torches idle in your hands? Use them. Let Priam swallow his role that was Ilion. Our work's over, so goodbye, Troy, and hoist for home. The same order concerns you too. As soon as you hear a fanfare of trumpets coming from the general's tent, get straight down to the ships ready to sail. I am sorry for you, Arkives, but you must go with these men. They've come for you from Odysseus, who is your master.
My hour has come. The gods, have pity on me. This is my last ordeal, to sail away and see Troy fall in flames. Our fate should be to be inclined so far. I will stand here and bid farewell to my poor city. Troy, you who once among the Asian cities drew the breath of pride, your name shall vanish now. They are slave. Gods! Gods! Why should I climb into the gods? We called on them before and not one heard us fall. Now into the fire! There is a royal way to die wrapped in the flames of fallen my beloved city!
Poor creature, you're out of your mind with the men. Take her to the ships. Be watchful. She belongs to Odysseus. She's his prize and he must have her say.
Zeus, our maker, beget Lord of our land. We are darkness as children. Safe is our tormentor.
He sees, and the flames burn on. The mother of cities is now no city.
Look,
Troy is no longer Troy.
Look, Troy is a beacon. On the hill, every house is blazing. Along the ramparts, over the roofs, the fire rushes and roars in the wake of the city.
Troy in her fearful fall has faded, vanished at the breath of war, as smoke at the beating of wings.
Listen, Phrygian earth that nursed my children. Listen, my sons, you know your mother's voice.
No more prayers to the gods. Call on the dead in a ghostly chant.
I call the dead. I who am near to death. Stretched on the soil, my hands beating the ground.
We will kneel at your side. Call on our dear lost dead below.
Listen, souls of the dead.
Tell them our torment.
We are driven like cattle far from home, away to a house of slavery. Dead Priam, do you hear? Unburied and unwept? No, your ghost knows nothing of my suffering.
Though he died by unholy murder, wholly dead, darkly closed his eyes.
Listen, temples of gods, beloved city, flowing with, ravaged with flame, flowing with guiltless blood.
Soon you will fall and lie with the earth you loved, and none shall name you.
Dust mingled with smoke spreads wings to the sky. I can see nothing. The world is blood.
Earth and her name are nothing. All has vanished and Troy is nothing.
Listen, friends, did you hear?
Pergamus fell.
Each ruin reels and sinks engulfed. Reverberations rock the walls. Come, trembling, aged feet. You must not fail me now. There your way lies. Forward into slavery.
Farewell, Troy. Now the lifted all waits for us. Ships of Greece, we come.
So to conclude today's lecture, I would ask you to consider not only Arkives, the women, and the others who have suffered, but their equivalents through history, the ordinary person, the child, those who have no control over events. And these events continue around the globe as we speak. Think of their plight. Consider them. Good evening.